And now, your official TigerBait Postgame show with Mike Scarborough and Preston Guy starts now.
All right, guys, I think we got a lot to discuss tonight. I don't know if you want to call it a complete performance or the most complete performance by an LSU football team. But obviously LSU's defense is the last 2 weeks is building on what they did last week. They're getting better. And Brian Kelly says they're working on tackling for 20 minutes every practice, not going to the ground, but something novel. They've been practicing actually tackling. But this one was never in doubt. LSU 48-18 over Auburn. Another big time performance from Jaden Daniels. A lot of discussion out there. If LSU wasn't a 2-loss football team, would Jaden Daniels absolutely be the hands down front runner for the Heisman? I think that's absolutely true. He continues to put up staggering numbers. Kyron Lacey with a big night. Malik Neighbors, obviously. And what about LSU's running game? Another big night on the ground for the LSU running attack. And really just look, there's some things that they're not going to do well each and every week. You still got questions in the back end of the defense. But if that defensive line continues to play the way that they have, I guess if you want to say the last 8 quarters or whatever quarter number you want to add there, I think this team is well on their way. And I think that Ole Miss game is going to be one that you might be regretting and kicking yourself over more and more as each week goes by. But in reality, I think if LSU continues to play like this and build each week and avoid the injuries like Emory Jones tonight, which it is just an ankle sprain, but they're going to know more tomorrow. But he's going to have 3 weeks to get ready for Alabama. Army next week, open date, and then Alabama in Tuscaloosa. That's going to be the only I think the only team that I think if LSU builds on this, that's going to give them their biggest battle. I don't see A&M coming into Baton Rouge and beating LSU boys. Jimbo Fisher. I tell you what, I glanced at some of the Texags message board earlier tonight. They're melting down over there, and so there's going to be a lot of what ifs to talk about. But Preston, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, we'll talk with that defense because obviously the defense is going to be the key to this season. The LSU offense is just almost automatic. It's almost not worth mentioning just because of how good they are. Another 563-yard game. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, they do it every week. It's wild. Well, it's their 6th straight week putting up 500 yards or more. 2019 did not do that. It's for 6 straight weeks.
And Preston, but what I've been saying for several weeks, I think you probably agree with me. The only thing that you need this defense to do is go from an abomination to mediocre.
Well, and we had the conversation earlier about what the difference between mediocre and average is. If you could rank 70th, 60th in the country in defense, that's fine. And I think that's what you got tonight was just a middle of the pack SEC defense. Auburn is not an elite offense and you treated it like as such. So that's good news. Let's take a breakdown. So everybody knows following those 3 drives of Missouri to open the game a week ago, LSU had given up 17 scores on 20 drives that weren't cut short by the clock. That's pretty bad. That's 85% scoring. Okay. Since that drive, LSU has given up 6 scores on 21 drives. So they've clearly made up some progress. I remember thinking to myself after the Ole Miss game, they missed 34 tackles for 284 yards. If you just tackle, you win that game handily. And I think that that's a big part of what we're seeing. They're giving much better effort. They are tackling much better and it's showing up. They're still not a great defense. They still have some holes. They got kind of bullied up the middle at times tonight. They gave up some passes they probably shouldn't have. They were really going after Zy Alexander. But they look serviceable. And if you can get that, this team really can compete with anybody. I messaged some Auburn guys I had done a podcast with earlier this week, and I said, look, y'all played a tight game with Georgia. if this LSU team were to show up, you just watched your team play against Georgia and LSU. If this LSU team shows up, you think LSU has a chance to beat Georgia? And he told me straight up, if that defense shows up and LSU plays Georgia, LSU wins by a lot. This offense is spectacular, is what he said. And I had some people on his show. I said LSU was going to beat them 42-28. And they were telling me I was smoking crack because I thought LSU would score 42. Well, lo and behold, they score not 42, but 48. Let me turn my phone on silent. Got my ESPN notifications.
All right, guys. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. And while we were entering in the show, getting it all together to go live to talk to you, Teron Francis, Edna Carr, committed LSU class of 2025. Heck of an athlete, wide receiver, about 6'1", 200 pounds. And we'll have more on that tomorrow. But he tweeted out his commitment tonight at 11:30. And so class of 2025 is looking pretty strong. State of Louisiana.
Now hold up, there were some 25 guys in the stadium tonight. We got to talk about, right?
Bryce Underwood looked like he was having a great time. They were putting him up on the big screen.
Yeah.
He had a phenomenal night, and I think he had a great time. And I think the class of 25 for LSU, I think, is going to be a better class just because I think the state of Louisiana is significantly better.
Well, and DeCorian Moore was there tonight, and Harlem Berry, who is an absolute stud. So you had the number one running back, the number one quarterback, and the number one receiver all on your campus at once, two of which your DeCorian Moore is already committed to LSU. Harlem Berry, LSU's the favorite to land, no doubt. And, man, Bryce Underwood just keeps on coming back to LSU. His decision coming in January. Mike, how are you feeling about do you feel I kind of feel like LSU's doomed to have a second place finish for him just because he's less than an hour from Michigan and that's the hometown team. What's your gut tell you?
I don't know. This kid keeps coming back. He's been, I don't know, what is it now? 4 times, 5 times?
4. This is his 4th visit. Yeah. And he just took an OV a couple weeks ago.
No, he's pay attention to what they do. And when that kid sees what Jaden Daniels doing in this offense, he's absolutely seeing himself doing similar things. And I think he likes it down here, and I think his relationship with Joe Sloan. But here's the thing. Let's see how often he heads to the big house or heads to Michigan for visits. And we'll see. LSU's also in on McIntyre, but it's going to be very, very interesting. All right, guys. Let's get to some of your comments. And please, if you're enjoying the show, hit the like button, share it out to your social media. And Todd Davis would go Tigers. Carmen Allen said, I look forward to this show every week. Go Tigers. Jay White, Mike, how big of an impact does it have on recruiting after a loss? I've been covering recruiting for 26 years now. The losses don't phase these kids. It's about relationships, your need for them at that position, and the program history, the overall program, not any given week or 1 year. And LSU is one of those hot programs. Jay White asked about Bryce Underwood. He obviously was having a great time.
They caught him swag surfing on the big board. I saw the shirt he was wearing. He was wearing an NBA young boy shirt. I was like, oh, that's the number one player in the country on the Jumbotron. And he looked like he was having fun. We saw him before the game. He had a nice long conversation with
Brian. I tell you what,
Kelly.
Kudos to LSU for putting that up on the big screen.
Yeah, video board with the recruiting assist, man. Good eye.
Yeah, big cojones, Kelly. Big win tonight. Let's go Tigers. And Gary Williams, a little better on defense. Still need to work on tackling. Look, if you can get a C- out of this defense, maybe even a C+ or a B-, I think LSU can win out. I really believe that. I believe they can win in Tuscaloosa. I said in the offseason that they would go to Tuscaloosa and win. and I guess I'm going to stick with it. But I also didn't think LSU would have 2 losses right now. I thought they'd have a loss this season, but it'd be somewhere where it wasn't supposed to be.
You got that with Ole Miss.
Yep. Todd Davis, LSU D gave up less than 300 yards. Absolutely. Look, this Auburn offense obviously has their issues. Hugh Freeze doesn't have everything that he needs to do what he wants to do in his offense. They don't have a quarterback. And look, they knew how to defend this Auburn team. That's why myself and just about everybody that covers LSU all week felt that this was a really good matchup for LSU to put it together and look good. Lacey had a couple of bad drops, but then he had some good catches, some big catches.
Yeah, he did.
He was the receiver of the night.
Real good after the catch stuff too.
Yep. LSU defense gave up 293 yards tonight. They kept it under 300. And Mike answered my questions. Thanks, Mike. And thank you for that. And I tell you what time it is. It's let's knock out some of these, and let's start with my good buddy, Kenneth P. Haynes.
Kenny Haynes is a proud 1989 graduate of LSU Law School with a passion for justice. Kenny stands out as the only lawyer in the state, board certified in both appellate practice and family law. Drawing from 34 years of trial experience, Kenny has navigated the most complex aspects of real people's lives. If you need help in Northwest Louisiana with a family issue, legal issue, or a highly skilled trial attorney, call Kenny, 318-222-2100. And speaking of winning, Kenny would like to recognize our 2023 national champions and congratulate coaches Kim Mulkey and Jay Johnson. Go Tigers!
All right. Of course, Kenny is the official lawyer of TigerBait.com, and he reserves the right to think most clearly for a paying client. And he's absolutely who you need to call in North Louisiana for any of your legal needs. And he's also Tiger Shark on our Tiger Den Premium message board, and one of our best posters when we talk LSU football all week long. Hal Jubin, what a great day. New governor and LSU blows out Auburn. Can we get any better?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Congratulations to Jeff Landry. No runoff needed because LSU ran Auburn off the field tonight.
I got to go back and look at history. When was the last time a governor did need a runoff? That's
it's been a while. I can't remember.
I
feel like in my lifetime that's happened for sure.
Maui John, aloha from Maui. Nice to see Harold Perkins play with such impact. We got Harold Perkins tonight. Now, the media who traveled with the team last week, they brought Harold Perkins out last week as well. But for those of us who typically man the fort and do post-game shows and are only there for home games, that's the first time we've got Harold Perkins tonight. And I caught the tail end of him because I got extra Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels' interview is already up on our YouTube channel, as well as we've got Hugh Freeze's post-game, and Brian Kelly's already up, and all of our post-game stories are up on the site as well. Carlton Cisco, Mike, I've enjoyed your work for 20 years. Thank you. Everything is ahead of this LSU team. Thank you for those nice words, Carlton. Again, like I was saying earlier, I think depending on how this season plays out, if LSU continues to do what they're doing right now, that Ole Miss loss could really
burn.
That could really stick in some people's craw late in the year.
Which, by the way, I think most years a 2-loss SEC champion, which that's what you have to do to be in the playoff conversation. You have to be a 2. I think most years they have a better than 50% chance of making it in. This is a tough season for that, man. You've got a lot of good teams: Washington, Michigan, Florida State, North Carolina still undefeated. Then you got Oklahoma in the Big 12. If all those teams remain undefeated, you're just not going to make it in. And while usually a 2-loss SEC champion would have gone through an absolute just gauntlet and would probably get some extra love, I don't know that the playoff committee is going to look at the SEC as a gauntlet. So I don't know. The odds are probably not stacked in LSU's favor, but that doesn't mean you can't go do something special and give it a try. I like LSU in every game left on its schedule in the regular season. I really do.
I do too. And if you know your history, LSU typically plays very well in Tuscaloosa. And so we'll see how that plays out. What a night by Jaden Daniels, of course. 20 of 27, 325 yards passing, added almost another 100 rushing, 3 touchdowns, had 1 interception that was a tip drill ball that just hung up in the air forever. Another quarterback rating over 200. And so 563 yards of total offense for LSU tonight. And you really got to like that almost 240 yards of rushing.
39 rushes. Let me chime in for Jaden Daniels real quick. Another 400-yard game. Whatever, dime a dozen for Jaden. He's now up to 2,805 yards on the season and 26 touchdowns after 7 games. He's having quite the season. Only 3 interceptions. Obviously, the interception wasn't a great throw tonight, but I don't mind it because it's that aggression, that willingness to take the shot. He saw the Auburn DB there. He knew there was a chance he could make a play, but he wouldn't be able to make the interception, so he took the aggressive shot. He bats it. It takes a weird, wild, wonky bounce, and sometimes that's the way cookie crumbles. It's a sign of a quarterback being aggressive, pushing the ball downfield, and that's what Jaden Daniels needed to do to take his game to the next level, and he has done that.
The Thrill, this team could potentially win out and control their own destiny. Go Tigers, love the show. Thank you, The Thrill. And that's what Jaden Daniels said. He said, we believe that we've got everything in front of us. And I think he and his teammates are really, their eye is set on getting to Atlanta again. And I think these guys are starting to feel it now. And now the defense is coming along. And look, I obviously bringing in Pete Jenkins 2 Mondays ago, 2 Tuesdays ago, it's reaped some rewards. And I don't know what percentage of what we've seen out of the defense that's got better at Missouri and certainly had a strong night tonight. I mean, this defense tonight looked like the '85 Bears compared to what we saw out of this LSU defense early in the season. But that's really all you need. You need a C-, a strong C, and with this offense, you can do whatever. Again, and name a punter who's got a fresher leg than Bramblett. This is a starter in college football, right?
Oh, man. Another easy night for him with 1 punt for a casual, 44 yards. I'll say this. In terms of controlling their destiny, within the SEC, LSU does control its destiny, right? But mathematically on the playoff picture, LSU doesn't control its own destiny.
No,
sure, pump that into the players' heads. That's the right thing to do, Brian Kelly. But this team is going to need some help if you want to make it to the national championship. Because like I said, you've got 4 conferences with undefeated teams. If those 4 win out and go undefeated, you're out. End of discussion.
Well, no 2-loss team has ever made the playoffs, but there's never been an SEC champion that
good point,
didn't get in the playoffs either. So it's one of those deals. Would it be leave it to LSU to be the one to do it, like 2007, right?
Yeah, right.
But you still got some undefeated teams, but you also still have some major football games in other leagues left to be played. And so let's see how it all plays out.
Let's put it like this. A year from now, LSU would be a scary team to teams out there in the country. I mean, because next year you're going to get the 12-team playoff. And I'd say if that playoff picture were available for this team, not only could LSU make it, LSU would almost certainly make that.
Jay White says, hit the like button. Thank you for that, Jay. Absolutely. Please hit that like button. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, notification bell. I can see the analytics on the back end. There's a lot of people that watch our show every week, but they're still not subscribed. And I think it's because a lot of people just haven't registered for YouTube yet, and that's why. But if you takes 2 minutes, register for YouTube, get you an account, and that way you'll get a notification bell as soon as we go live, instead of having to go to YouTube and doing a search. It'll immediately send you alert to your cell phone if you've hit that notification bell. Yeah, Wilk should be going to Tuscaloosa 7-1.
Well, you shouldn't lose to Army next week. Let's put it like that.
No, they lost to Troy, and what do they have? 3 straight losses. They lost to ULM.
Yeah.
Tiger Tames, where was Whit Weeks tonight? Didn't see much of him. Love the show, Mike. Thank you for that. Yeah, Omar Spates is back, and I was also wondering about Weeks, and that I'm sure that there'll be a question that Kelly will get Monday. Nobody got it off tonight. Is it a deal where he's the upperclassman that's transferred in? He's the starter. You don't lose your starting job to injury. How much of that is that a part of it? But I don't know.
While I liked Weeks playing better than Omar Spates, this was the healthiest Omar Spates had looked all year. It's the best he had played all year. So I'll have to go back and watch some film to really see if he played better than
he was
playing. I don't think Weeks was on the field enough. I think you got to find ways to get him on the field.
Well, to be fair to Omar Spates, he was the second leading tackler on the football team tonight.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He definitely played his best game as an LSU Tiger tonight.
Yeah. Carmenel, let's be honest, in 2 more years, we'll be having high level expectations. The thrill you beat number 1 Georgia in the SEC championship, like Mike said, could be the first 2-loss team to do it.
Could be.
And that'll be, if that were to happen, let's have a little fun. This is a lot of fans here. It would be one of those deals where LSU's really in that. The trivia questions of college football, if that were to happen and going along with the 2007 season, it would be one of those deals. Leave it to LSU to have those types of asterisks or footnotes. But you take it any way you can get it. And the fact of the matter is, if you look around college football, is there anybody right now that you think is an unbeatable football team, even those teams that haven't lost yet? I mean, is there a couple of teams that are just heads and tails above everybody else, or is it just that there's some teams that had a very conducive schedule to be where they're at right now? And we'll see, because I don't see anybody out there that's just the juggernaut that can't be beaten.
The most complete football team in the country has been Michigan so far.
Yeah, and who have they played?
Well, I don't have that in front of me, but
it's bad.
It's not great for sure. It'll get stronger as they close out the year. I wondered, does Michigan play?
I mean, they play 1.5 teams.
State. Do they play Penn State?
Yeah, they get Ohio State, which is a tough team, and Penn State, which would you say is a half or 2/3 of a tough team?
No, I'll give Penn State a full tough team. They're pretty solid. So you'll get to see Michigan, but you're right. They haven't been tested thus far. Georgia shows some kinks in the armor. Washington looks pretty good. I don't know. Maybe Washington might be a little more complete, and they definitely have some bigger wins than Michigan. Florida State is up there as well, which, by the way, if I'm Florida State, with the way this team continues to evolve, I'm not so sure I'd be scared of a rematch of Florida State. Particularly, the thing that really stood out to me tonight was when LSU played Florida State, Logan Diggs did not play that game for whatever reason. And his emergence has opened up a running game outside of Jaden Daniels in a way that has not existed before him. And I really can't help but notice that that's coincided with the offense elevating itself to levels we hadn't seen before as well. And I'm just wondering if, just having that consistent running game in between the tackles, and being able to move the ball consistently outside of Jaden Daniels, if that's opened up some areas for Jaden Daniels to elevate his play. I really do think it is, and I think that would help LSU offensively against Florida State. As you know, the second half, the offense kind of did, tinker off a little bit against Florida State.
Koala Insulation, guys. The team of Koala Insulation of Baton Rouge, your residential and commercial energy efficiency experts. Tim DeSalle and his group are top-notch. They did some unbelievable work here in my house. The approaches Koala provides not only help you reduce energy bills and maintain a more comfortable living environment, but can also help reduce airborne allergens, water condensation issues, wear and tear on your HVAC system, and even lengthen the life of your roof shingles. The Koala team provides existing homeowners with the doctor's diagnosis of your home's energy efficiency and can offer several strategies to help you stay more comfortable and save money on energy bills all year long. Koala has the capacity to tackle large spray foam projects and new home construction while being available to help everyday homeowners get some relief from South Louisiana's extreme weather. As an added bonus, most of Koala's projects qualify for federal income tax credits. So give Koala today at 225-457-1001. Tell them you heard about them on TigerBait, and they're going to give you 7% off on your project. So 225-457-1001, and that's a free energy assessment. Let them come and let them help you save money in the long run by making sure your house is where it needs to be to save money on utilities. Preston, go ahead.
Oh, talk about Spectre?
You want to go ahead? Yeah.
Yeah, I can roll with Spectre. Look, guys, if you see the artwork behind me, you see the SpectreSportsArt.com/the Bayou. You see the Dylan Cruz piece. This is all from artist Jordan Spector, who's been kind enough to partner with us this season. The link's behind me, so you could see all the pieces. You see the Tiger Stadium behind Mike. You see the Smokin' Joe. I know this has caught your eye. If it catches your eye, it'll catch your friends and family's eyes in your man cave. So once it catches their eye, the details is what's going to keep their attention. You see the little things like the puzzle piece on Cruz's little armband there that represents his cruise work he does, where he helps disabled children come to the game. You see Joe Burrow, the scene of him smoking the cigar outside the locker room, and the little notes, "You can't do it." Just all these details really tell the story. And what always stands out to me about these pieces is the athletes themselves are purchasing these pieces and hanging them in their rooms. Dylan Cruz family purchased the one behind me. If you go to the link in the bio, the link in the description of this video, you can see the picture of Jordan giving it to his family. Very cool stuff. Joe Burrow's mom and dad, every time they do a podcast interview, you can see that piece behind Mike in their living room. So that's always really cool stuff, guys. Artwork is available in quality prints and canvases in any size to fit any room or any budget. The art is all straight from the box to the wall. You don't have to buy nails, mount. It's all in the box ready for you. Just, out of the box on the wall. Make sure to go check it out. So guys, go visit the link in the description of this video, or just look at the link behind me, SpectreSportsArt.com/the bio. Go check it out there, and make sure to use our exclusive code TigerBait10 to get 10% off your first purchase. Guys, you're not going to be disappointed with this work.
All right. Absolutely. The fact the artwork behind me is already spoken for and sold once the season's over with. McLovin Jr., Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in the SEC in college football, the second best offense of all time. He is a late first-round pick or an early second-round pick. Man, I tell you what, I think he's got a bright NFL future. I don't know that a lot of people would have maybe thought that last year. He got, holding on to the ball too long, didn't throw the intermediate and deep balls as well as everybody wanted. He's a different guy now. And I'm waiting to see some of the draft experts with some mock drafts,
update their boards,
and see where Jaden Daniels is starting to fall now, because I think with what he does with his legs and I look at what's some of the starters in half of the NFL right now, I think Jaden Daniels is going to make a lot of money.
So I want to talk.
I think he's going to be a big ambassador for LSU football as a professional as well.
Hopefully so. I just want to just put some perspective on this. Last year, Jaden Daniels, had he gone pro, which was the plan actually, that he was planning on being one and done, and that's it. He was going to be like a 4th or 5th round pick, right? Not going very high. He had some, he was good last year, but 17 touchdowns, less than 3,000 yards. It was didn't push the ball downfield. There were certain games where he kind of just disappeared. Think about this perspective of just able to sell your program as a quarterback developer. He went from Arizona State, where he had the 10 touchdown, 10 interception season and looked bad, frankly. Transfers into LSU. They get him looking good, 17 touchdown, 2 interception season. And then within a year, they've got him looking like a Heisman winner and potentially first round draft pick. Now, do you think that Joe Sloan has all of this information ready to rock and roll and is in Bryce Underwood's ear right now? Hey, son, look what we did for Jaden Daniels. You could be next. There's a strong PR element surrounding what Jaden Daniels and his development. LSU is developing that position better than we've seen them do in the past, and arguably better than anybody in the country right now.
Well, I'm down on the field at the end of the game, and I'm there. They let the high-profile recruits in before the media. They let them in, and then a lot of them get to witness Brian Kelly address the team. And then once that's done, they let us in, and then we go in for Brian Kelly's post-game presser and player interviews. So I get to see, the recruits get let in. And so one of the things that happens with this, certainly Bryce has been there all day. Pre-game, locker room, walk down the hill. There's some meet and greets. And you got to believe that Jaden Daniels and Bryce Underwood are having a lot of conversations. And how much Bryce Underwood is involved to see how things work behind the scenes. All that helps Joe Sloan and Den Brock and Brian Kelly try and seal the deal for the 5-star quarterback. And it's just big. A kid like Underwood, who's is also a dual threat kid who can do it all. He can visualize himself in that offense. And he's watching a guy right now that we're talking about. If it wasn't for having 2 losses, he'd absolutely be the number 1 Heisman Trophy candidate as of now. Some will argue that nobody's playing better than him in college football right now. But look, I think it's if you were to tell me that Jaden Daniels wasn't going to be invited to the Heisman ceremony, it would be a highway robbery. And I think he's going to continue to put up numbers like this each and every week. So as some of these guys falter and don't have good games, I think Jaden Daniels' numbers are going to be the same every week. I don't see him having a bad game.
I think tomorrow we're going to look up and it's going to be Michael Penix Jr. and Jaden Daniels atop the Heisman favorite standings, because Caleb Williams looked atrocious tonight as they got blown out by Notre Dame 48-28. He threw 3 interceptions in the first half where he just made bonehead throws, was just running around off his back foot, throwing up prayers to double coverage. I think it's Jaden Daniels and Penix is to lose at this point.
Trenton Eubanks, ESPN shed light on Daniels during the Auburn game by demonstrating how quickly he rotates through his progressions. You can bet every NFL scout grabbed a pin. Absolutely. New England picks JD5 in the first round.
Hey,
look, I've heard some Saints fans that would like JD5 in New Orleans.
I wouldn't mind them there either. I think New England's going to be drafting pretty darn early. I don't know if Jaden Daniels goes top 5.
D. Scott Riggs, Mel Kiper has JD as the 9th quarterback off the board. What an idiot. Yeah. I have a feeling that's, I don't know how old that ranking is, 9. I have a hard time believing he'd still be 9th.
Yeah, I don't know how often he updates his rankings. That has to be coming into the season, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and look, this is a strong quarterback class, so something like 6th or 7th, maybe, probably still gets him close to the first round just because of how strong this class is. I don't know. I don't know how you'd have him all the way down at number 9. That has to be old.
How high does LSU go up in the rankings tomorrow? I wonder.
Oh boy. You think they're going to pass up? There's no way they pass up USC, right? Let me pull up the rankings.
I mean, they're certainly going to be ranked
ahead.
They're going to be ranked ahead of a good many one-loss teams.
Yeah, if you're a one-loss team who hasn't gotten an impressive win so far, I mean, yeah, LSU will be above them. All right, let's see. Where's LSU right now in the AP poll? Number
Not that the
22.
rankings matter, because they really don't. But as you start to get closer to the first CFP rankings, it starts to give you an idea how things might shake out.
I don't know that LSU goes up that much because of what the teams above them did. Notre Dame with a big win over USC today. Tennessee with a win over Texas A&M. I don't know what Washington State did. UCLA, I'm pretty sure, lost to someone today. I can't remember who, but we'll see. We'll see.
Jeremy, Franks, Mike, and Preston, sorry about this comment. Y'all please pray for me and Sabrina for a good outcome on October 27th. As we battle some issues with our 2 babies. Thanks. Absolutely.
Absolutely, man. Sorry to hear that.
Absolutely. And keep Greg Brooks in your prayers, and go visit the Victory Fund on LSUsports.net, and Jimmy Lindsay as well. American Patriot, did you see Belichick scouting Daniels when he came to LSU? He was very impressed. College Game Day going to be at LSU and Alabama game this year. I hope we play on ESPN. That's going to be a CBS night game.
Yeah,
right?
that has to be a CBS game. In fact, it's probably going to be the doubleheader where LSU gets the night game for that.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. Georgia played Tennessee last year, and that's why it got bumped to ESPN for the first time in a million years. And there's no way. Tennessee is not the same team they were a year ago.
First thing I want to tell you, this is the first weekend that Drip IV is open on the weekends. They started that this weekend. If you partied a little too much watching LSU do what they did to Auburn tonight, go over there tomorrow and get you an IV at Drip IV. And I want to hear from Brittany too tonight. And let's see what she has to say.
Hi everybody, we're so excited to share the news that both our Lafayette and our Baton Rouge location are offering semaglutide for weight loss.
If you or someone you know are interested in our medically assisted weight loss program with semaglutide, call Kylie in Lafayette or myself in Baton Rouge. We'd love to speak with you.
Absolutely. Get over there and see them. Semaglutide. Of course, there's the brand name that starts with the O. A lot of you know it. A lot of people are losing weight. I've got many friends that have the weight coming off of them. We go out to dinner. They get it. They're taking half their food home because they have a small appetite. Their food budget's half of mine because they're using semaglutide. Give them a call, 225-356-3634, and book your consultation. And so if you're struggling to lose weight, maybe you heard about it before, didn't know what to do, they've got the good stuff at Drip IV. And of course, they're right there next to Sushiyama and Iverstein and Perkins Crossing, the corner of Perkins and Eston, a super convenient spot. And they do welcome walk-ins. Also in Lafayette, off Ambassador, Cordoba, off Ambassador Caffrey in the first medical office building on the right. Tell them you heard about them on TigerBait, and they're going to give you $10 off your first IV drip. So if you're dehydrated, not feeling well, allergies getting you, they've got an IV drip for you. So whether it's weight loss, IV drip, etc., you need to get over to Drip IV and tell them you heard about them on TigerBait, because they're going to give you the best treatment ever if you say TigerBait once you're walking that door.
Hi everybody, we're
double dip there, huh?
Yeah. All right, Preston, you want to get to some comments?
Well, I just want to say I saw a hilarious piece, some news story this week talking about how Walmart grocery sales are down 3 to 4% because of people taking semaglutide. It's like that's kind of wild. Let's see if we can get some comments here. Someone was asking if we saw Bill Belichick. Was he apparently at the game? I'll tell you who I did see though was Frank Gore was there as a scout
Yep.
for the 49ers. That was really cool to run into him. I did not run into Bill Belichick. If he
Now,
was
Belichick was there for the pro day.
well, you
Yeah,
talking about in the spring?
when was that? Yeah,
Yeah,
I forget when that was.
He wouldn't have been there.
It was a while back.
They send scouts, which we see scouts all the time, but I did think it was interesting seeing Frank Gore there. I guess 49ers decided to keep him around scout players.
10-2 LSU beats 12-0 UGA in Atlanta. We get Florida State in Atlanta and the CFP Louisiana Poetry.
That'd be something.
What time is that Army game? And that is a 6:30 p.m. kickoff, and it's on SEC Network. So, and then we'll find out the following Monday about what LSU Alabama is going to be.
I just want to point out real quick, LSU's early schedule has not done the Tigers any favors, y'all. It was obviously a brutal opener, and then you play 4 of your first 6 on the road. That's brutal, right? But LSU has now escaped the worst part of their schedule. They played Auburn today, got a win. One injury of note, that's Emory Jones. He now you go into Army where Army's not really going to challenge your team. I'm sure Brian Kelly will be saying what I'm saying is blasphemous, but let's be honest, that's a bit of a cakewalk. Okay. And then you get a bye week before going to Tuscaloosa for your final road game of the season. And that Tuscaloosa game, the result of that game will do a lot toward defining your final thoughts on this season. Was LSU, a contender, or, was it a disappointing 9-3 season? It all comes down to Alabama for that perception, because it will swing wildly based on the result of that. But you got out of Auburn, and now you get 2 weeks to prepare for the big date in Tuscaloosa, and the rest of the schedule evens out pretty nicely for you.
He came to watch Butte on pro day. He spent more time talking to JD, who was throwing to Butte. Yeah, that's what I thought. Rob Boudreaux, I wish Drip IV was open right now. Let me, by the way, you bring that up. Preston was behind me on Nicholson tonight and going down Nicholson Drive. And, of course, all the kids walking on the sidewalk heading to Fred's and that area and even further down Nicholson. They need to light that area up. That is not safe. There needs to be some lights. Did you see all that, Preston?
Yeah, it was lots of people walking, and there's no sidewalk there on the side of the trains. And what makes me nervous,
they've got to fix that
is they've had kids die on those train tracks.
That makes me nervous. Something's got to be done about that.
And then there's just so many nasty stories that come out of there. I really think they got to put some infrastructure in place there, man. It was a little disheartening driving past that, which usually we don't drive down Nicholson to get home. Usually we go the back way of River Road, but
yeah, they've got to fix that. I didn't like seeing, I'm telling you that it was, I bet you there was no less than 800, young adults, late teens, early to mid 20s walking on the side of Nicholson all the way down there past 2 Freds and then even further down. I don't know how far they were going. They've got to light that area up and do something about that.
Hey, maybe we need to get with our new governor and get some infrastructure.
Yeah, I just, there's been some tragedies there, and something's got to be done. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Trenton Eubanks, LSU won't see a significant spike in the rankings unless they accomplish the W in Tuscaloosa. At that point, the West is wild, and that could also be the game If look, I don't think we're getting ahead of ourselves. You can just look at the schedule. That could also be the game that really turns the tables and gets in the heads of a lot of Heisman voters for Jaden Daniels. That could be where it was won, just like it was for Joe Burrow. LSU's got to win that game. Anything else you want to add, Preston?
Man, yeah, I mean that game's just going to be tremendously big for a number of reasons. Jaden Daniels, Heisman hope. Where you said getting some love, I will say last week the tide did turn a little bit where Jaden got some national love finally. He wasn't getting it before. He should have been getting it before, but I think the national perception has changed already, and they're like, yeah, this LSU defense is atrocious. Jaden Daniels is been a beast though. And I, like I said, I do think tomorrow we'll see Vegas. He'll be in the top 2 Heisman odds, and it'll be big.
And it doesn't hurt that LSU's in all these prime. I mean, this was primetime ESPN tonight.
Yeah, no, big spot for them for sure. And what I really want to talk about is that Caleb Jackson bulldozing tonight. That was something I had on my notes to talk.
I've not seen a replay of that. I didn't see.
Oh my! It had shades of Leonard Fournette.
He's had a few of those already.
Oh yeah, he's trucking people down. He reminds me so much of a young, and he had a big return tonight too. Look, I loved the run by John Emery, and Josh Williams had a touchdown run tonight as well. I don't know how you don't get Caleb Jackson more involved with this offense. I mean, I'm not saying take Logan Diggs out. I mean, he should get his 20 carries, but if you're going to spell him, I think you got to get Caleb Jackson out there. He is so darn talented, man.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Thanks to everybody tuning in. Thanks to Preston staying up late with me as always. And Preston's got his show Monday night with Zach Nagy and any other little special things he might do. I'll be back Wednesday night with Buddy Sanji. All of our post-game stuff is up on the website. All our stuff that's on YouTube is already there. Brian Kelly, Hugh Freeze, Jaden Daniels interviews is already posted right here on our YouTube channel. Again, if you enjoyed the show, hit the like button and go to TigerBait.com and subscribe. We'd love to have you as a premium member. You can try us out for $1. A lot of recruiting stuff there. I've got a lot of prospect video that we loaded last week, and I got more coming. Recruiting updates. We're going to be reaching out to recruits tomorrow, all the guys who are in this weekend. So we're going to have a synopsis piece on how the recruiting weekend went. So we'll have all that for you on TigerBait.com. So anything you want to say on the way out, Preston?
Nah, guys, y'all come back, see me Monday night. We'll have a fun show with Nagy as always. Make sure if you haven't liked the show tonight, do so we get some good analytics, and make sure to subscribe to the channel, guys. And we're one of the fastest growing LSU channels out there, and I appreciate everybody's support for making that possible.
All right, guys. Thanks for all the comments tonight, and we'll see you on the other side. Good night.